how much trouble are the Packers really in?
I would give the Packers a 3 or 4. I think when they get Bakhtiari back, they get Elgin Jenkins back, Skip, that'll solidify their offensive line. I think they'll be fine from a protection standpoint. And I don't care who your quarterback is. You pressure him enough, you'll fold him up. So I'm not concerned about the Packers, but this was all about the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikes are going to be a much better team, and they showed it yesterday. And I don't want to get to, but Zadarius Smith and a healthy Danielle Hunter is going to prove invaluable for that defense because they can get after your quarterback with 4. Now, I don't know if Zadarius Smith is going to have that kind of motivation every week, but Skip, we saw him yesterday, and he was motivated, and he wasn't bull-jiving. He was coming. I don't know what Aaron was thinking trying to block Zadarius Smith. Let that go. You messed your shoulder up doing that, Aaron. Hey, I get it, but let that one slide. And Cousins. Kinfolk Kirk, he was dealing. Now, I told you, Skip. I said, Skip, he due for these games. I don't know what it is, but when he plays Aaron Rodgers, he plays really, really well. And JJ was dynamite. One of the best. Top 5. Now, that's what your number one's supposed to look like. When you target him, how many times did they target that man yesterday? I got my pick right here. Justin Jefferson got 9 targets. No, he got 11 targets, 9 catches, $184, 2 touchdowns. I know a guy that got 11 targets, had 2 catches. And they blaming it on everybody else except the guy that he was throwing the ball to.
We'll talk about CeeDee Lamb in just a moment.
I didn't call that man's name. How you know I was talking about him?
You called his name. You've been calling his name for months.
Rodgers got his work cut out for him. I would have liked to see how the game played out, Skip, because he comes back, Minnesota goes down the field, gets a touchdown. They come right back, opening play. He has the burner. I think San Diego State is where he's from, North Dakota State, one of those schools. He's a burner. He has him open. He's beating Pat P for a touchdown.
North Dakota State.
And he drops it. And so I would maybe now you put Kurt in a situation now, okay, we got to go ahead. We got to really go. We got to really play. But they were and Green Bay was really never able to get anything else generated outside of that, Skip. They did a great job of relentless pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and the guys had got no separation. The guys were covered up. And Aaron had to pat the ball, and some he threw away, and some they were able to get to him. But I'm not concerned about Aaron Rodgers. He turned the ball over twice yesterday. He turned the ball over twice in the last 15 games last year. So he's not a guy that's mistake-prone. But they put him in a situation where he didn't have a choice. We saw this last year in Jacksonville when they played New Orleans, Skip. He turned the ball over, looked terrible. He comes back and win the MVP. I'm not overly concerned about him. Minnesota is much improved. O'Connell is going to do a great job. They're going to be tough. Now, you're going to look back in 7, 8 weeks from now, and you're going to say, hey, 84, you was on to something.
Really? I haven't said that in 6 years on this show. Not once in 6 years.
Well, see, when I picked Michael, you say you was on to something.
Michael who?
Micah Parsons.
Oh, Micah. I thought you meant Michael.
Michael.
I thought you meant Michael Jordan.
No.
You were on to something with that.
No.
Sure. Way to go. You being a Carolina fan. My turn. I'm going to say it again. There's one man in sports you do bet against, and it's Kirk Cousins. He will always, always let you down when you least expect it.
A different Kirk.
Okay, is he a different Kirk after all these years? The most overpaid quarterback in the history of football. Kirk Cousins had a fairly hot day, but not an extraordinary day. It was just fairly hot. But here's my issue with it. He was hot because for some reason, Joe Wood, the defensive coordinator for Green Bay, he has a top-flight, all-pro type of a corner in Jair Alexander, and he will not travel him. He just sits him over on the right side and says, I don't know, maybe Jair, maybe it's his doing. I don't know, but they don't travel him at all.
Well, they did strip him of his captainship.
Okay.
He was, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was a captain last year.
Okay.
And he said it after the game. You have to ask them why they didn't let me travel, let me follow him.
All right. I don't know. So maybe he had something to do with it, with the captain.
But Skip, remember they gave Douglas that money too now. They paid Douglas a lot of money to keep him. Okay. So, hey, bro, you got to earn it.
Okay. Well, you have to let Jair take Justin half the time. You just have to. You got to make him think about it. You got to challenge him. You got to have somebody compete with him and take him away on a few plays where you make little Kirk Cousins a quarterback you're going to want to disown at some point. Cousins, what do you call him? Second cousin?
I call him first cousin. And Ken Folk Kirk.
Okay.
At Cook got Ken Folk Kirk.
Okay, well, you're going to want to disown him sooner than later because he'll start forcing balls to Justin Jefferson. Against my Cowboys last year, it was halfway through the season. It had been game 7, week 7. He threw him 4 balls and he caught 2 for a grand total of 21 yards. That's possible when you have good corners, and Dallas has good corners.
Well, guess what? The thing is, you got Thielen, and Thielen to eat. So what you gonna do?
Well, Thielen didn't eat yesterday.
No. Because Jordan Jefferson. Yep. Skip, when these number 1 receivers, when they get going like that, it's over. When they let a man get like that, he had like a $150 something at the half. What you gonna do? You don't let him get the rhythm.
Change your coverage the way Tampa did on Tyreek 2 years ago at Tampa when he had 200 and some yards in the first quarter.
Yeah, with 3 touchdowns.
You change it, and then all of a sudden the go gets you back in the game. The other issue is Green Bay was running it down Minnesota's throat yesterday. They averaged 6.2 yards a crack running the football. But if you only go 18 tries, it's not enough. You threw it 39 times, so you threw it twice as much as you ran it. And Aaron was having a long, hard day. At the end, he took some punishment he never takes, right?
Yeah.
He got beat up. He had to be a sore, older man last night.
Yeah, the one that Jordan Hicks got him with it, we ended up fumbling the ball. He put his forearm right to his rib. I know that one hurt.
You know, Aaron might have needed an ayahuasca session last night, right, to get him through the night. Yeah,
that one right there. You just saw Jordan Hicks. Zadarius on top of him. Sometimes, Skip, I just want you to pick yourself off the dirt. I ain't really have to hit you, but I just wanted you to know. I just want you to feel. I just want to touch you up.
I'm going to sum this up for you by reminding you that just a year ago, week 1, Green Bay was forced to go to Jacksonville to play New Orleans because of the hurricane.
Correct.
So they're playing on a neutral site.
Yeah.
It wasn't even in New Orleans.
Right.
And Green Bay lost that game 38-3.
Yes.
38-3. And Aaron Rodgers threw for a grand total of 133 yards and had a QBR, which was the lowest of that weekend, of 19. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, he had a 16. This is scaled 0 to 100. So he had a 19 QBR on opening Sunday a year ago.
Right.
And guess what he did after that? He won a back-to-back MVP.
Yes.
So
that's why I'm not concerned about it.
All is not lost.
No, and I said that. I'm not concerned about him. I want to give credit to Minnesota. No, they look like they might have the reincarnation of purple people eaters, too.
Really? Is Fran Tarkenton at quarterback?
Hey, don't worry about it.
You could trust Fran Tarkenton at least to get you to a Super Bowl, right?
Right.
And he might have been the greatest escape artist in the history of football. I've never seen anything like him. But the point is, Kirk Cousins will fool you into believing in him, and he will let you down. My Cowboys were he was 2-8 against my Cowboys when he was in Washington. He was 1-4 against Dak Prescott. That's who he is in the biggest games, and that was always their biggest game of the year.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're not talking about Dak Prescott? I think Dak Prescott fooled a lot of people too.
Well, he was 4-1 against first cousins, who was about fourth cousins to Dallas.
But you don't play them in the playoffs.
I looked forward to playing to Kirk Cousins. I looked forward to it because when you least expect it, remember Dak's rookie year at Washington, they had him down and almost out.
Yeah.
And Kirk went to church. Remember that? He went to Barry Church. He went to church. He threw it right to Barry Church in the end zone. And here came Zeke going the other way, and Dallas turned the tables and won the game. He's different. He's grown up now.
Yeah.
Finally, Minnesota has an adult Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Is that what you're trying to say?
I believe he has a guy that believes in him. I'm not so sure how much of him believed in Kirk. And I think he felt the tension that his head coach didn't like him, didn't believe that he was the guy that could get them to where they ultimately need to be. Sometimes you believe in yourself, but you need that one other person also to believe.
They're hyping him up and pumping him up now. And then about week 8, week 9, all of a sudden the new head coach, the rookie head coach, is going to go home one night and say, God, what did I get myself into?
Oh, by that time, he'll be 6-2. He'll be 7-1. So it won't be no need to do that.
Well, Cowboys go back up there. I wonder if Cooper Rush is to be the quarterback. I'll be licking my chops on that one.
Okay. Are we going to get a bet? You going to give me a bet on that one?
No, I'm not going to bet on the Cowboys anymore. I'm not going to jinx them anymore. I just told you I'm not. I'll pick the game. But I'm not going to bet on the
This
game.
man just talked about Cooper Rush and how Cousins is going to crumble under the pressure. There's one man I bet against, and that's Kurt. You called the man Kurt, even though the man's name is Kurt.
I didn't.
One man.
The general manager of Washington called him that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
McClue, was it McClue?
No, it was, what's his name that I knew from Oakland?
Allen?
Yeah.
Bruce Allen.
Bruce Allen, yeah.
But
George's son.
You on the other talk about, you believe so much in your Cowboys, but you're not going to give me another bet the rest of the season.
I told you I doomed them yesterday. In fact, I finished my podcast last week after my prediction. I said, I just doomed them. And I did.
Jerry doomed them by putting this roster together.
Really?
It's not what he thought it was.
Did he draft Micah Parsons?
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, well, Coach Belichick is golden because he drafted Tom Brady and Gronk. So he good, right? Nah, we don't get to do that. You don't get to rest on your laurels. This is an update your resume business. Every couple of months, and in pro sports, you got to update it every single week. In football, basketball, you do it every game.
If Bill Belichick had really seen Tom Brady coming, he would have taken him in the 2nd round instead of the 6th round.
Why? Because I knew we could get him.
Some scout came up and said, hey, Bill, you should take a flyer.
Let me ask you a question.
Kid.
If there's a piece of land in Malibu right now, 2 acres, now you can go pay the asking price, which is about $7, $8, $9, $10 million for it, or you can wait a year or two and say it's going to be down to $2 million. Which one you going to do?
It's not ever going to be down to $2 million. It's not.
But I'm just saying. I know it's not. But Coach Belichick said, I know he's going to be there. Because everybody done saw that 40 times. They done saw that body. Ain't nobody moving up to the 3rd or 4th round to take him. I'm going to sit right here and get him. And boop, there he is.
Coach Belichick is strictly a product of Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Strictly, and you saw it again on full display yesterday in Miami. He is on the hottest of hot seats. And I hope that Mac Jones is not hurt, but if he is banged up, it will maybe give Belichick a reprieve.
And they're going to give no reprieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be able to reprieve. They're going to be in trouble because they struggle. Miami is I like Miami. I like what I saw Miami defensively. And those speed guys they got out there, Jalen Watson, Tyreek.
Speed.
They can run.
Yes, they can.
But I'm 3-0 this week.
Yeah.
You know what? I might not even bet no more. I might retire. Go out on top.
Yeah, because you know what's coming. The onslaught is coming. Humiliation is coming.
I'm going out on top, Skip. I got to do it.
Yeah. You enjoy it while it lasts.
Today, I'm officially retired from picking games.
Okay. Way to go. Yeah. Congratulations.
Shannon, I wonder if you would join me in a bet on Justin Jefferson. Could he get 2,000 yards this season? His 184 yards yesterday were a career best.
If he played the Cowboys, he'd get 3,000.
I think he can do it.
That's wrong.
All right. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.